All right. Good evening, everyone. How are you today? Okay. Good evening. How's it going? How's been your day? All right. Today is day 2 of Spark Masterclass, and it's with great pleasure that I am here again this evening. Today, I would just stand like a host. Yesterday I did the coaching thing, and we started yesterday with a fantastic session on the business of you, or the you business, organizing your life like a business. And a few nuggets were shared in the short time we had. And if you still want to watch it, it's just going to be here for the 3 days of the masterclass. After the 3 days, I'll take it off the platforms. And if you need the videos again, you may need to pay a small token to have the videos. All right. So quickly watch it after this broadcast. Powerful things were shared yesterday. One of the things that I mentioned yesterday is the fact that you are the greatest resource. All right. You are priceless because there are no two of you. So one of the things you must look at, every business manage resources. So you should manage yourself well. All right. And you should have a vision, a mission for your life and all that. I said so much yesterday. So please go and watch the video again. I am not the one taking the session tonight. I already mentioned her yesterday, and I'll be bringing her up in a few minutes. And let me also say this that I said yesterday, and I don't know why it keeps coming back in my heart to share with you. Maybe somebody is listening to this, and that's the core thing you need to work on this year. One of the things I said, I think my second to the last slide yesterday, was as you run your life as a business, one of the things you must do is to review and adjust your plans. Review and adjust your plans. Every business does that. Okay? Every business. Towards the end of the year, they have these appraisal meetings where they check again, what have we achieved? Okay, is this product working? Is this product not working? You as a business, you should review your plans too. Oh, last year went well or didn't go well. Now, if it didn't go well, how can I review and rework my plans and strategy to make it go better this year or go well this year? Then if it went well last year, how can I re-strategize to fan to flame and make it bigger and better this year? So review your plans, review your plans. Many people don't like to review and adjust where necessary, particularly when things are not going well. And I mentioned yesterday that part of the reasons why people don't do that is some is ego, mostly ego. Oh, I've done this thing for too long. Many people know me with this thing. How do I now start changing? And I mentioned, like I always do, I said speed, okay, is not the test of the right direction. You can be going in the wrong direction very fast. So that you've been there, or if you've done it for long, does not mean you cannot reroute and find what works for you. Every business intends to make a profit. So if it's not profiting, rethink, rework your strategy, adjust your plans, and make profit. All right. So my guest speaker for tonight is around now. She's been around even before we went live, and we were having a fantastic chat, earlier before the stream. And she wears many hats, just like me. And I like her passion for what she does. So tonight you will be having a session that I believe is passionate. It will be enlightening, and there's so much to learn. We're talking about finances tonight. I also will get out of the stream and grab my papers or my jotters and my pen and begin to write. So if you don't have one near you there, please do, because nuggets will be shared again tonight in the short time that we have, okay, so that you can make your finances um, better this year. I usually jokingly tell my friends who are married, I say, finance enhance the romance. It sounds like a rhyme. It sounds like something that is just, but really, finance would enhance the romance. And like my people would always say, they say it in Yoruba, okay, they'll say, the more money you have, the more you can enjoy, the more things you can do. So managing your money is a critical aspect. And I believe for your year also, you have thoughts on how you will manage your money. All right. I'm bringing up stage tonight wonderful speaker who she does everything money. Everything money. Everything money. Everything. Everything money. Either is accounting or either is everything money. All right. Her name is Yemisi Isidi. I hope I pronounced it right. I believe I did. Okay, Yemisi Isidi, and she will tell me what I did when she comes up. All right, and she'll be telling you about your personal finance tonight. She is the CEO of Thrift Africa, and she has many other things. But Thrift Africa is the one most people know, and we have other new things coming up. So stay tuned. You can find her on Instagram. Just search her name, and you'll find her there. Okay, and wonderful person. Let me add her to the stream right away. All right, all right, all right. Hello, hello, hello.
Good evening again.
Good evening
Yeah,
and welcome.
thank you. Thank you so much.
So, CEO Thrift Africa is the woman you are saying. Her name is Yemisi Isidi. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Thank you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So why the name Thrift though? I know there's this thrift thing. Ajo is called Ajo in
Yes.
Yoruba.
So
Is that the
that's the
inspiration?
concept for it. Yes. That's what we
Ah,
do at Street Africa pretty much. Yeah.
all right. Tell
Modern day
tell us more about thrift.
Okay, so Thrift provides microloans, and we're working on our savings platform for mainly underserved businesses. So we identify businesses who would typically struggle to access finance from traditional institutions and try to bridge that access to finance for them. But beyond finance, we also provide them a community. So we have a community of over 900 micro businesses that we consistently provide support to in terms of peer-to-peer learning, access to opportunities, partnerships that essentially makes easier for them to start and grow their business. So in a nutshell, that's
All
pretty much
right.
what we
So if I have a new business or I want to start a business, I can get money. Then if I already have a business, you can help me also expand. In
do.
simple
Yes,
terms, right?
yes,
All
yes.
right. That is
Very true.
Thrift Africa. Welcome to Mega Life Learning. This is practical learning for productive living. That's all we do here. And I will leave it to you now. The next voice you're going to be hearing is the CEO of Thrift Africa, Madam Yemisi T. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Well, I do not take this for granted at all. Good evening, everyone. So I really like my session to be interactive. I know that as we progress, more people will join us, hopefully. But if you're here, please let me know that you're here, right? So let me know your name. Let me know where you're joining us from. Let me know what you do. Let me know what you hope to learn from this session. So, like Mr. Noel introduced, my name is Yemisi Isidi. I live in Abuja, Nigeria. In a nutshell, I'm very passionate about building people, community, businesses. I'm also a mom. And finance for me is a key pillar that a lot of my work revolves around. So whether it is helping people understand personal finance, make better financial decisions, or it is helping people get the finance that they need for their business to grow. So, a few interesting facts. I wasn't going to. There are so many reasons why I would not be here today. Firstly, I have declined. I've gotten over 5 speaking engagements for this month that I have declined because I decided that the first few weeks of this month I am just going to rest, take it easy, ease into the year, be very clear about what my focus is. But when Manuel reached out to me and told me about what he does and the kind of community that he's building, and he wanted me to talk about personal finance, especially at the start of the year, so people can make better financial decisions. There was no way that I could say no to that because it's at the core of my passion. Secondly, this whole week I've been really ill. So I was this close to canceling, but I really tried that if I give my word to someone, then I have to fulfill my
Oh,
word. So
thank you. Thank
yes.
you.
I'm really glad to be here and I'm so thankful for the invitation. And I really hope that I know it's evening, it's a Thursday night. Most of us are going back to work tomorrow or to school. But I really hope that this session is worth your time and we can all actively participate in it. So I like to do this brief introduction where I talk about some of the companies that I've worked with. So essentially, I've worked as either a consultant or technical advisor to some of these organizations. Most times it is around programs that they're doing for young people or for businesses. And for businesses, it usually involves around investment readiness. So when people are putting together accelerator programs, incubation programs for businesses, not just in Nigeria, across Africa or African businesses anywhere in the world. They reach out to me to, structure the syllabus or coach or train the participants of their program. And this has formed a key pillar of my work over the last over the past few years, right? And he also talks about the work that we do at Thrift Africa. And there is also Seco Labs, which is now a management consulting and innovation hub where we support organizations with their various people and business needs. Right, and then Future Females is a South African company. I know most of us are familiar with SLA. I had the amazing opportunity to work with them for the second time last year. Impact Amplifiers and is a South African company as well that I've worked with for 2 years now as one of the coaches on their program, and it's been amazing. So I really love being a part of people's success story, and that's what a lot of my work revolves around. So this session is going to be as practical as possible. I want to see your engagement in the comment section. I want to see your questions, right? I want to see the notes that you're making. Hello, Sheon. Alabi, thank you for joining us this evening. And if I say something insightful or interesting, I want you to say wow in the comment section, right? So if I say something that you thought, oh, this is really good, or okay, this really applies to me, I want you to let me know by saying wow in the comment section, okay? So these are a few things that you get from this session, right? So at the end of the session, I hope that you'll be able to identify mindsets that would limit your ability to make money or to live or to think about money, pardon me, think about money the right way. You would be able to identify key mistakes you're making with money, and you would be a lot more money confident, like I like to call it, right? So the goal of this session is that wherever you are right now, whether you're a student, you recent graduate, a new mom, an established professional, that you would be a lot more money confident. Okay, so why is financial literacy important, right? Why is it important that you understand how money works or what money is. Obviously, we won't cover the whole spectrum of how money works in this session, but to the best of my ability, we're going to cover what is essential. And the degree to which I share, which will usually depend on the engagement from my participants, right? So, one of the importance of financial literacy is that it boosts your confidence. So, you're able to make, again, better financial decisions. You're able to make better decisions for yourself that contributes to growth, and you're able to live the life that you actually want, right? And a life that you're truly satisfied with. Okay, so what are the first thing usually when I get to talk to people about money, the first thing we do is to look inwards. What do we think about money and how did we frame these thoughts, right? Because before we become or before we do, we were first a thought. A lot of the things that we do daily have first formed inside of us before they are outwardly expressed. So we may not realize that some of the decisions that we are making that influences how much money we have or do not have may be as a result of internal mindsets, right? Internal belief systems. And it is important that we're able to identify what those mindsets and belief system are. So the first question would be to ask yourself, what information did you receive about money while growing up? Right? Maybe from your parents, from other people, and maybe it wasn't something that was said to you. It's something that you observed, right? What significant experience have you had with money in your life, and how has these things affected you? So I remember seeing a conversation on Twitter once, and the person was saying how he never lets his partner knows how much he earns, right? He's even when he's in a committed relationship, he never lets his partner know how much he earns because growing up, he saw his mom steal his dad's money. When his dad is not around, his mom will go and steal her money, and so to protect himself, maybe his parents never had a conversation with him about that, but because of what he saw, he had a belief system that women will steal from you or will always want to take from you behind your back. And so he's always on guard, never lets his partner know what his income streams are or how much exactly he's earning, right? I've seen some young ladies sabotage their opportunities for growth because they believe, oh, if I'm not married, then I shouldn't be making this kind of money. I shouldn't be driving this kind of car. I shouldn't be living in this kind of apartment. So without even realizing it, they have this strong belief system that influences their level of ambition, that influences their work ethic as well, because they may not realize it, but perhaps when opportunity to earn more money comes, they sabotage it with their work ethic and they don't realize that it is because of their internal wiring. So just to apologize in advance if I cough a bit, it's just because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm still feeling under the weather. Okay. But yes, if we have a few people who would like to share some of the things around what I have mentioned. So what experience did you have growing up around money? What thought patterns, what information did you receive? What significant experience did you have and how does this affect you? Right? So some people have heard that, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, right? Or, oh, if you invest your money, you're going to lose it because they invested in their money once and they lost it. So they decided they're never ever going to invest again. So, what are some things that you heard about money while growing up? And I hope that we can revisit the conversation as we progress. So, this is what I like to call the money life cycle. And it pretty much looks at how every action that you take contributes to you making money, keeping money, multiplying money, or losing it. Like the relationships that you're building, the skill that you're getting, what you're doing with your time, it contributes to any of these four quadrants. I would not want us to spend too much time on it because we'll come back to it in a bit if we have some time at the end. Okay, so what are common financial mistakes that people make? What are common personal finance mistakes that people make? Pardon me. So one thing that I tell myself is that beyond just trying to make money, I want to build wealth, right? And personally, I'm in that stage of my life where I am trying to build wealth for my children, and I'm looking into people who have built legacy businesses, people who left inheritance for their children that really set them up for life. And whenever I'm doing something, I'm thinking, okay, how can we make this thing transgenerational beyond just me, right? What kind of systems or structures can I set around it so that my child can inherit it if they want to, or it can create enough wealth for them? But that's just an aside, right? That's just where my headspace is right now when it comes to money and finance and all of that. So the first common mistake is that people despise how they treat others. You do not realize that they value things more than people. And if you want to build wealth, you would need to prioritize how you treat people, how you make people feel, right? The kind of things that you empower people to do, right? So, to the best of my ability, I try to make peace with everyone. So, even if I have a staff that I really do not like or it's not being as productive, I try to the best of my ability to ensure that if they are living on good terms. Like there is no animosity. We can meet each other anywhere and say hi and hang out and have lunch and all of that, even if we probably did not have the best work experience with each other, right? So, and the thing is, when people hear how you treat people, they usually mainly think about how they treat people who are above them. But the truth is that right now, a lot of the money that you're going to make in future depends on the people that you have around you right now. So your peers, your classmates, your colleagues at work, right? The people who are on the same level as you right now, because you're all growing together, you're all building wealth together. How are you treating them? How are you intentional about investing in relationships, investing in community? Not just in terms of what you get from them, but what you're able to give to them. So another aside, earlier this week, I had gotten an email from someone requesting mentoring, and I really like to mentor people. We have a whole mentoring community of over 1,200 people that we actively support to try and get jobs or to just upskill themselves. So it's something I do passionately. And then there are some closer knit group of people that I actively try to invest my time and effort into, right? But I realized that this person's mindset about mentorship was just about what she can get from the relationship. And there was no thought as to, okay, what is something that you need that I can do within 1 hour even, or oh, I've identified that you're lacking in XYZ. Here is how I can help. And in turn, I would want you to be my mentor on this. Like, I feel like if she had approached me that way, I would have been more open to accepting it. But it just did not, it felt like it was going to be a one-sided relationship that I would not find, that I would regret, because giving that person my time and attention means there are other things I would not be able to do, but they probably would never see it that way. So, yes, how are you investing in relationships? Not just what you can get, but what you can give. Another common financial mistake is no system for record keeping. So it's January, right? And a lot of the sessions that I've been having with my colleagues, so I've seen a number of people have joined us. If you can just leave a comment, let us know where you're joining us from, your name, what you do, your location, what do you hope to gain from this session. And I also stated earlier that in the course of this webinar, if I say something interesting, just say wow in the comment section, right? Just say wow in the comment section. Um, yes, so no system for record keeping. So it's January, and one of the sessions that I've been having with a number of clients or even just conversations is around planning for the year. But there is no way you can plan for the future without looking at the past or without looking within. And that is what happens when you're trying to make better financial decision without keeping your record. So you don't know where your money is coming from and you don't know where your record is going to. Hi, Fumi. Fumi is one of my amazing clients. I've worked with her. I've worked there. Yeah, I really love the work that she's doing and it makes me so happy to see her here. Welcome, Ma. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, so you do not have a system for record keeping, and record keeping is not just for your business. So the session yesterday was thinking of yourself as a business, right? When a business tries to get funding from us, maybe we are trying to give them loan, or they've come to us to help them get external funding, grants, all of that. The moment that they start talking about how they do not keep any record at all, or they do not know their business numbers, I just at the back of my mind know that this business is going to pack up soon, because the number one way of identifying a healthy business is in their numbers, right? And so if you don't know where your money is coming from or where your money is going to, you're most likely going to keep making the same bad decisions, right? So that does not mean that if you've not been keeping record, it's you cannot make good decisions moving forward from today. One of the good decisions will be creating a system that enables you to track where your money is coming from, where your money is going through, and it can be anything. So I use an Excel template that I created. There are so many apps that you can explore. There was a time I used to use pen and paper, right? I try to make all my payments with transfer. That way I can go through my description at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and use that to form my record. Or I have notes. So if I pay for something in cash, I quickly make a note of it in my on my notes app, right? So what this does is at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter, I'm able to look at this number and say, where is my money going to? And am I happy with where this money is going to? If I'm not happy about it, what can I do differently? Am I making enough money, right? How much am I saving from the money that I'm making? How much am I putting towards investment? Where am I investment based? So I'm going to use my family as an example. So I work remotely. My husband works remotely as well. So most of the time we're indoors. We can be inside the house a whole week, right? And probably only step out on Sunday. And so it never occurred to us to buy a car. But there was a time when all our friends were buying cars. And we thought, oh, everyone is buying a car. We can afford one. We should probably consider buying a car too. And we looked at our finances and the money we were spending on transport. This was before fuel increase, right? And this was before we had a baby. It was like 200K or something. It wasn't a lot of money, right? And so it did not make sense to us to go and buy a car that fueling and maintenance alone would definitely cost a whole lot more than 200K. And we weighed our lifestyle options, the kind of life we're living. That number alone just meant, what, buying a car then was not a good decision. That has slightly changed now because our lifestyle has changed. The cost of fuel has increased, which means we're spending more on cabs. We're trying to have a more social life, right? And having a car would just be more convenient. But if we were not keeping record of our numbers, then we would probably have made a decision to have bought a car then that would not have been the best decision, right? So thirdly, you do not have a plan, right? So I'm going to tie four and three together. If you've said that you want to make 1 million naira every month this year, that is a great goal. And that's what some people do. So at the beginning of the year, they set their goal for the year, and they write all these things that they want to do. And that's it. They shut their book, New Year resolution done. But there is no plan. It's like saying, I want to go to Kaduna this evening, and then I just sit down on my seat. What are the chances that I will get to Kaduna? The chances is zero unless a miracle comes up, right? But if I say, oh, I want to go to Kaduna this evening, and then I start finding out where are the parks that I can get a cab to Kaduna, or who is a personal driver that I can call? How much is it going to cost me? Or what's the best route to follow at this time of the day? That's me making a plan, right? And then seeing the plan through. So if you've set a goal for yourself to cut down on XYZ, to make more money through XYZ, what is the plan to get there? Or is it just a goal that you've made and written down? So you need to have a goal and you need to have a plan. So one of my goals when I was in school was that when I graduated from university, I did not want to depend on my parents for money, right? And part of achieving that goal, my plan was to save. Oh my goodness. I saved as much as I could because there were periods when I couldn't work, right? So anything that wasn't absolutely necessary for me to buy, I would not buy it. So obviously, as an international student, I had friends buying designer, living in really nice apartments. I was looking for like the absolute cheapest things that were useful or reasonable, right? That meant that was a necessity because I knew that the more savings that I had, the more money I could fall back on when I graduated, right? And that for me was part of the plan I had to achieving my goal. So I remember one time a friend wanted to borrow, I think £1,000 or something. He needed it urgently for an emergency. And I said, oh, I'll give it to you. And he was so shocked because I did not look like somebody who had £1,000. But that was because I was always saving. But that was my plan. Right. And thankfully, when I did graduate from school, I was fine. I could do things by myself. I could rent my own apartment. If I needed to pay for something, I could pay for it without asking my parents. But imagine that I had that goal and there was no I was and then I was just spending frivolously. I wasn't trying to earn money. I wasn't trying to save. What are the chances that I would have graduated and be financially independent? So when it's important to have a goal, a money goal especially, right? Have specific amounts of money that you would like to earn. It helps. And don't just say, this year I'm going to be very rich. I'm going to have money. That is not a goal, right? A goal has to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed, right? So during my NYC, I had a specific amount of money that I wanted to earn. And it looked almost impossible because I was serving in Kwara State. Like, what do people do in Kwara State to earn money, especially when you're a copper? But I was able to hit that goal, right? And so having that goal in mind and visualizing it goes a long way. Miss Anwar, if you're speaking, I can't hear you because you're muted.
What do you mean? Kwara State is a good state. I grew up in Kwara State.
No, I just said that because I had a great time. I
All
had a
right.
great time in Kwara State, yeah. But yes, having that goal in mind, and then creating a plan to achieve the goal as well, right? And let your goal be very clear. Be able to visualize what achieving that goal will mean for you, especially money goals, right? Then the fifth one is you do not know how to say no, both to yourself and to others. So this one is a common mistake I find people make with money because we tie our ego and we tie our sense of pride and identity to what people say about us and what people think about us. And we never pause to say, okay, how does this help me grow long term? And how does this serve the goal and objective that I'm setting for myself? Right? So you need to learn how to say no, both to yourself and to others. And this includes black tax, because whenever this conversation comes up, people say, oh, but I'm the first. Pardon me, oh, but I'm the firstborn. I have six siblings. If I say no, who will take care of them? And I don't know if it's something that I plan to cover later, but I will just share it now. So, how I think about it is thinking, what can I invest in this person that will make them stand on their own, right? Especially if the person is over 18 and they're healthy, right? So creating systems that help them be independent as well. Having a set budget and communicating it clearly. Because some of us may not realize it, but the reason why you're struggling to say no to your black tax people is not because you do not want to be unkind. It is because your sense of pride and identity is in being the family helper, and you don't realize how you are being the family helper at the risk of you helping yourself to continue to grow long term. So there's nothing wrong with helping people, your family members, your parents, your siblings, but it needs to be in a way that encourages them to be independent on their own and also contributes to your, and you're not sabotaging your own ability to grow. And I hope that that's clear. I'm happy to clarify. The sixth one is you're not investing. So, how is your money making money while you sleep? Right? And we'll look at some investment options later and some things to consider before investing. But how is your money making money while you sleep? The seventh one is you're not investing in personal development. So, when last did you invest in a session with a mentor? When last did you invest in a book, in a course? Did you sharpen your skill? Did you attend a conference, right, that helps you become better in your field, right? When last did you even research your field to find out what is trending, what are people investing in, right? What is this industry going to look like in the next few years? And how can I ensure that I'm not going to pull myself out of job, right? Yeah, so you're not building your network. I already mentioned this in one, so I will not go through it again. You're not seeking advice. So you especially when it comes to money. So right now, I realized that, oh, I don't really understand crypto. And so I'm investing in a course and in a community, pardon me, that will help me understand crypto better, because I've seen that this is going to be a major thing, and I need to start positioning myself in terms of my expertise, my knowledge, my ability to get crypto and spend crypto, right? So part of that would be investing in other people's mind, accessing their minds, their level of knowledge, their experience. Number 10 is so key. Like, I don't know, I had a session last year with an insurance company, and I was just sharing how, like, health insurance was one of the best decisions I made in 2021, 2021, right? So I call health insurance pay now, save later, because it may look like your money is just, you're just paying a huge sum of money for something, maybe health insurance, that you may never use. But it means that when you actually need it, you do not have to spend as much, especially for newly married couples who are planning to have kids in Nigeria, and the company you work for does not provide health insurance. Please go and get one. It will save you a lot of money, right? And also, if you have elderly parents, it will save you a lot of money as well. The 11th mistake is not diversifying your income, right? So, what are the different ways that people can earn, and how are you exploring all those ways? This does not mean working round the clock or having multiple jobs. it goes back to number 6, which is exploring, in getting knowledge of and exploring investment options. Yeah. So I'll share some financial management tips for businesses. I don't know how many of us here are business owners. If you're a business owner, please let me know. So I'll quickly run through this. I'm trying to be very mindful of time because I would want to get questions as well. Okay, so not much left. Okay. Okay, so again, some of the things we talked about applies as a business owner. It's important that you have a system for record keeping. When you know where your money is going to or coming from, you are able to make better decisions for your business. You're also able to attract investors and external investment, right? So have a system for record keeping, have a plan, right? Have your business goals and have a plan. So if your goal is to make 1 million naira over the next 10 months, it means that in a month you need to be making 100,000 naira, and in a day you need to be making over at least 3,500 worth of sales, right? When you break it down like that, you wake up every day and you know that today I must sell something of 3,500, and then that shapes your goal. So having a plan creates focus, right, and sharpens your goal. A lot of business owners that I meet, even people with big startups that are popular and on Forbes, do not know the difference between revenue, profit, and cash. And so they think that every money that comes into the business is their money, or if you're making a lot of sales, it means that they are profitable. And that's not always true. So if I buy this water for 100 naira and I sell it for 20 naira, 100 naira will be my revenue, right? So money from my sale, I get cash of 120 from selling it, and I get profit of 20 naira, right? But what if I'm selling this water every day, but my customers are buying on credit? So I'm recording that I'm making sales, and I'm recording that I'm making profit as well, but I'm making zero cash. And so when it's time to pay rent or to meet any expense, I'm unable to. And we find that a lot with a lot of micro and small businesses. Yes, you're making sales. Yes, you have profit. You're selling at a profitable price, but you're also selling on credit. So you're not able to meet your short-term liabilities. What if I buy this 100 naira and I'm selling for 70 naira because I just want to be selling? And so every day I have customers line up in front of my store and they're buying this for 70 naira, and I'm so happy. I'm getting cash, I'm making money. But am I building a profitable business? When I finish selling it, will I be able to go and restock my store? Will I be able to pay salaries? So we need to be thinking in terms of understanding. I know some of us do not like maths, we don't like accounting, but one thing I try to do on my Instagram is break it down in a way that anybody can understand and apply it, because it is absolutely important that you understand these things, right? So also analyze your numbers against industry standard. If you work in if you're operating in a community or society where you have access to data, what's the average income that somebody with the size of your business selling that product makes, and how are you comparing against them, right? It helps to know what things mean. Like I've mentioned, revenue, profit, cash. I've seen people who have lost very easily accessible funding opportunities because they just did not understand what a profit margin is, or they did not know their numbers, right? Have the right legal structure. Some of you are registered as a business name, some of you are registered as a limited liability company. There are some opportunities that you may not get as the business name, right? And so you need to ensure that you have the right legal structure that matches with your goal and vision of the business. Ensure you have your taxes, you have an accountant sorting that for you, have a mentor or a business coach or a business consultants that you can speak to. So I mentioned Mrs. Fumi, Madam Fumi, who is on the call. We had a session last year and we ended up doing, I think, her business plan or her pitch deck. I can't remember. But those kind of things make it easier for you to achieve your goal and really position for growth, right? So I think I'm going to stop here. I don't know if anybody has any question before we go on. Just take a short breather. If we don't have any question, we can go on. So we can aim to finish maybe at 8 or 8:30 latest, right? So it's very key that you are investing in building assets. So these are things that would enable you make money without you constantly working. We forget that we would not always be this young and this energetic, right, with very sharp mind, able to jump on a plane anytime. And so we are not thinking about how to secure our wealth or how to build assets that would make it possible for us to not always be working, right? So your business can become an asset if you set up systems and structures around it that makes it possible for it to function without your presence. So building the properties that earn you rent is an asset, right? Investments that bring you return in future are assets. So whether you're investing in stocks or real estate or bonds, treasury bills, all of that, building a wealthy network is an asset. And I already talked about this in the beginning, so I would not go over it again. One of my favorite things to do is creating online resources, digital resources, because you only have to do the work once and then you can earn from it over and over again. I wrote a book in 2019 and I still earn from it to today. I'm not having to write that book every day, right? So you build good digital products that people actually need, right? Make it as useful as possible and market and sell it appropriately, and then create structure around your creative ability, right? This way, even when you're not singing, I think we talk every Christmas, we talk about the lady that sang the popular Christmas song and how she sang that song years ago, but every Christmas she's cashing out. That's major goals, right? Building asset goals, right? So very quickly, we'll look at factors to consider before investing. So before you put your money into anything as an investment, what should you consider? The first one is how long before you can start earning returns? How long before you can start earning returns? Right? You need to understand that clearly. So will you be earning returns weekly, monthly, yearly? How much return can you make from this? Right? How much return can you make from this? What is the level of risk involved in these investments? And is this something that you can tolerate? So you need to even understand what you're investing in. So I find that a lot of people are very quick to invest in things that, uh, okay, I'll come back to that in a bit. That's a good question. What is the level of risk involved in this investment? And is this something that you can tolerate? Right? So, and that comes to, do you even understand what you're investing in? People will say things like, oh, invest 10,000 today, get 100,000 at the end of the month. And you don't pause to ask yourself, what are they doing with my money that makes this possible? Because if somebody is giving you 100,000 at the end of the month on your investment, it most likely means that they've made so much more than that. And then, if so, how? Right? And how is your investment being protected? Who are they registered with? who knows them, what's the legal structure of this company. So working towards making more money should not be equal to greed. Greed is when you're trying to make money illegally or without understanding what is involved. You're just hearing big numbers and you're excited, right? You can't build wealth with greed. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't, right? Ideally, you shouldn't be trying to build wealth with greed. You should have proper understanding, pardon me, and weigh it with your own personal goal and ambition, right? Interest rates is another thing. So people don't understand interest rate, how interest rate works. So there is the simple interest rate and reducing balance interest rate, especially when you get things like loan. So it's important to understand it. Sometimes, pardon me, please. Sometimes you hear things like get 12% interest on your investments. And essentially, that 12% may be 12% yearly or even over 2 years, which means you're getting between 0.5% to 1% interest every month, right? So you need to ask yourself, what about inflation? So would I be getting more or less money at the end of this investment period, right? Understand the interest rates that you're being offered on investment. Ask questions. Is your money? Don't put it in blindly. There's this quote that goes around on Twitter that I really like. I think is essentially saying that it is better that my money is returned than for you to promise me high interest and I lose both my capital and my interest. I can't remember the quote now, but it is so apt, right? Like, let my capital be secured. It's not even about promising me high interest rate. Let me get my money back, even if I don't get any interest at the end of it, right? So the question about insurance, how is insurance a financial strategy if the insurance company don't pay claims? So I'm really sorry if you've had that experience. And I'm going to share my own experience of insurance. So in 2021, I had a baby. We had taken out insurance, health insurance, and so that covered antenatal and all of the other things. So we didn't really have to pay for most of the things that year, anytime we have to go to the hospital, right? And again, if you are getting married soon or you're married, recently married, you're planning to have kids, the first 2 years of, in fact, the year that you're pregnant or your partner is pregnant, and the first 2 years of raising that child when they're a toddler, I don't know about anybody's experience, but in my experience, we were in the hospital every month. Like, if they're not running, if they don't have a random catarrh, they have a random fever, or they're coughing, or there's a rash on their body, or you're going for immunization, it's one thing or the other because their body is still building immunity. So anything can get them ill. Sometimes it's not even a big deal, but you're a new mom, you're a new parent, you want the doctor to say, oh, this is nothing, it's fine. Just allow them to play, right? So back to my story, we got health insurance. When I was going to deliver, I just said, oh, I'll just go in and push my baby out and come out and it should be fine. We got there on a Sunday evening and then we started the labor process. It was now Monday 10 p.m. This is over 20, about almost 24 hours now, and this baby was not here. So they said there was an emergency and I had to have an operation. And this is one of the biggest hospitals in Abuja, one of the most expensive hospitals in Abuja. So, I mean, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I wonder how much a cesarean operation is going to cost. We didn't plan for this, all of that. So I went in, we had the surgery and it was successful. And we came out and they brought the after, like, when we were about to be discharged, they brought the bill and it was over 1 million naira. And I just thought, I mean, we can pay for this, but spending 1 million naira on something that you did not plan for can really throw you off. I've forgotten that we had health insurance. So my husband went to the reception, the finance place to pay, and they were like, "Oh, it's covered by insurance," so we didn't have to pay anything. Pardon me. So, and that for me really made me appreciate the health insurance that we had taken out, because the money that we had paid as a family for a year was not up to a quarter of the total medical bill, right? Excluding what we had paid if we did have health insurance, the antenatal, the the check-ins when we're not feeling well, all the blood tests, all the scans. So from that's why I always advocate health insurance, especially for new families, and because of how unpredictable life can be. So perhaps what you can do is to research on the insurance company and ensure that you're making the best choice. Okay. I want to apologize for the coughing. Like I mentioned, I've been very under the weather this week, and the fact that I'm here alone. So please, if we can share while we wrap up, um, I hope that
All
this
right.
has been.
I have a question here. Sorry,
Yes,
Madam Yemisi.
no
The
problem.
person sent it to the group, and the question is, what do I need most? A legal structure or to start the business? Do I just
Oh,
need to start?
definitely
I think what
start
the
the
question
business.
is, do I
Please
just start
start
the
your
business
business.
or a legal structure? I know where this person is coming from. This whole
Okay. Yeah, I thought about it now as well.
register the company name, get a company bank account, and all that. Some people get lost in the process and they lose the energy to even start the business itself. And for some, it's
Yeah.
analysis. It becomes analysis paralysis. Oh, how do I do this? Instead of just starting the business. I was sharing with someone. I said, these Igbo boys, you just see Emeka and Sons. Pardon me if there's any Emeka on the call, and the business has started. So I know where the person should I get a legal structure or should I just start the business? Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned very key points, right? You don't want to waste so much time planning that you fail to do, because it's even in doing or by doing that you understand if this business is viable or not, if there's a market here or it's just in your head, and you identify gaps. However, my instinctive answer to that question would be, what is your vision for that business? Because if you start without registering, what if someone else goes to register with the name that you have started with, right? So
Mm.
now you started a business, but someone else has the legal name to that business. And registering your business is not that hard or takes so much time. So that's one of the services that we provide. And within 3 days, you'd have at least secured your name, right? While the registration process is going on. So don't overthink it. I mean, if you have limited resources, I would definitely say please start, right? You can always change the name if someone takes it or something. But yeah, just start so that you can even test, oh, is this worth putting my time and effort in? What are the gaps? How should I position? Instead of thinking, but then if you have the resources to register and start, you can do both. It's not, I don't think, if you're saying maybe trademark, all of those, I'll be like, okay, yes, those will take a few months or a few weeks. But if it's about just registering your business, getting a bank account, that can be done in less than a week. So yeah, if you have the resources, do both.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go on.
Okay.
Go on. Go on.
So please, you can start sending in your question, but beyond just questions, I really like to know what people have learned in my sessions. What stood out to you? What are you going to start doing? What are you going to stop doing? What will you do differently? Did you find this session useful? Did you learn anything new? let me know. So I recently created this short guide, the short template for to set goals. So if you're struggling to set your goal for the year or to break it down into actionable points, this is a useful resource that you can get. I'm going to try and put the link in the comments section in a bit. But yes, I highly recommend that resource. Um, So I share how I set my goals for the year and how I break it down into actionable points that I then put into my daily and weekly to-do list. So that every day I am intentionally working towards the goal that I have set for myself for the year. Instead of getting to the end of the year and realize, oh no, we are here again and what I intended to achieve I've not achieved. So if you're interested in the Thrift Africa community, we're happy to have you as well, and you can connect with me on social media. But I'm happy to get any questions, any comments now.
All right, there's another question here.
Okay.
Hello, Ma. Thank you for the training. Okay, thank you for the training. What other ways can I truly keep record for my business? It has been difficult.
Okay. So I would like to know what is this specifically that you're struggling with. That would help me. So are you
Well, I
I
know
do
this
you
person. She's a
yeah.
fashion designer.
Okay. Most fashion designers do not receive cash payments. So number one is again the system and structures that you set in place. So if most of your payments are transferred, that makes it a whole lot easier. And we recently had this conversation in the Thrift Africa community. So you need to identify your different expenses, your different incomes. You need to understand which one goes in. I think the easiest thing would be understand your different income categories and your different expense categories, and then look for an app that works for you. So there is this Zoho app. I think it's free. It's a bookkeeping app you can use. If you do mainly transfers or POS and not cash, it means that you just need to look through your bank statements and you can identify money that's coming, and for money that is going out, you have detailed narrative for them. It makes it easy for you to record or just have intentional systems. So do you issue receipts or invoice to your customers? That's another way for you to keep track. So I mean, all of these things I've said may not be what you're really struggling with. So if you can provide more context to that, that would be helpful.
All right, maybe the person will find a way to connect with you much later after this.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Okay.
know it's a whole lot of sacrifice for you to be on this call, on this coaching call tonight, and I am truly grateful. Um, Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I
Thank
see
you,
when
sir.
you were saying everything, you should have cancelled. You cancelled it quiet. Now that's. Thank you so
That's
much,
fine.
so much.
Yeah.
To wrap up, I just want you to close this way. If there's a young man or a young woman watching this either now or that would watch later, who wants to start his or her financial journey, all right, um, how is the best way for someone to start? Yeah, what's the best step? Maybe the person is a student, doesn't have a job yet, but like you said, can plan ahead or start this financial freedom journey. What's the best place to start from? Will you
Okay.
advise?
That thank you so much for asking that question, because while you're speaking, it just I remember how like gambling is such a big issue. Hi, Mrs. Stega. Thank you so much, and thank you for the recommendation as well. Gambling is such a big issue in Nigeria currently, and even in Nigeria, and it's not. I'm not even just talking about older people gambling. I'm talking about secondary school students, 14, 16, getting sucked into this, and it's because we are gradually having our values eroded. So people do not believe in making money through hard work and hard work, integrity, and
Mm.
excellence. They believe in quick schemes, especially when in down times like we're having now. It is quite common for fraudulent schemes to succeed, and people are looking for quick money. So they are gambling or they are investing in things that they do not understand, that are just ridiculous. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. So the first thing that I would say is to, like Daniel, decide in your heart what you are not going to do and what you're going to
Mm.
do for money, right? Decide in your heart that no matter how things get, this and this and this I would not do. And then surround yourself with people who share the same value, because I believe that we are capable of doing extremely wicked things and extremely
Yeah.
bad things. And that is why
Mm.
accountability and community is key. No matter how sincere your intentions are, how good of a person you are very
Mm.
capable of being evil and of doing evil. But when you have people around you that can call you out, or just
Yeah.
really say, no, this is not the way that you should go, this is not who you are, it makes it easy for you to backtrack, right? And fall back in
Mm.
line. So decide what you are going to do and not do. Surround yourself with people who share similar values. Start from where you are. So my first experience with financial knowledge was when I was, I think, 6 or 7. My dad would just have random books in the house. So I saw The Richest Man in Babylon. Honestly, my
Yeah.
husband was asking me the other day, oh, what's this book about? I do not know. I can't remember. I already read it that time. But I know that something I took out of the book was to save consistently. So I had this small brown purse that my mom gave to me, and if you gave me 100 naira, I would save at least 20 naira in that purse. So that's created the discipline of not spending everything and saving. So sometimes they will give me transport money from school, and I'll trek an hour so that I can save my transport money and all of that. So that created in me the discipline of saving.
Wow.
So when I talk about money the way that I do, I've come to realize that a lot of people did not have any form of financial education or financial a sense of financial independence or responsibility from young. And so a lot of the things that
Mm.
I share, they can in a way struggle with. So I encourage you to start wherever you are right now, right? You can start with resources, follow personal finance experts that share your values on social media. Pardon me. Start with keeping record. Decide that no matter how small you earn, you're going to save. Find investment vehicles that are going to save it. I know that when somebody comes to tell you, oh, I'm doing this investment vehicle or 50% per month, meanwhile, you are doing piggy vest that is 12% in a year, you can feel like you're behind. But building
Yeah.
wealth is not, it's not a competition. You're not racing anybody. You do it step by step, day by day. So if you understand how piggyvest works, it is used by people, it is trusted, it has the right legal structure, your money is safe and insured. It is better to stick with that piggyvest than to do the one of 100% every day and you do not understand it, right? Then, so I've mentioned gain financial knowledge. Be willing to invest in your personal growth. A lot of what I'm able to do today stems from the investment that I've put into being able to solve problems, really, and being able to think strategically. And sometimes that can come at a cost. So there are times when I've had to work for free simply because I know what I would learn from the job or the network that I'll build. So then I may not have been earning money to grow my income, but I'm investing in my personal development. And you are your biggest asset. So if you're not investing in your mind, in your ability to see bigger, to achieve great things, to solve problems in your relationships, it will make it harder for you to continue to compound income, right? So think about, how am I going to invest in my knowledge, in my personal growth, right? What investment vehicles exist, and which one is right for me based on my risk appetite? Which communities do I need to be a part of, right? Who will I share some of the things that I'm learning today with, so that they can hold me accountable? And honestly, maybe my faith plays a big role in my thoughts about money and saving money and spending money. It is also important to trust God, because there's only so much that you know and can do, right? And even for our future, there's so much. We are so limited in ourselves. But if you trust God to provide for you, even when everybody around you is doing yahoo yahoo, your needs will be met, right? You have your, you may not live in affluence, but your needs will always be met. I can guarantee you. So yeah, those are what I'll share.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those nuggets. Really, I want to drill down on something you said in passing, that one of the things you can do is investing your time somewhere in a place where you are not paid. You see, a lot of young folks today, they just want the money. They come for the money. They can't volunteer to learn. I've said it in some other sessions. I tell people that the in the marketplace of life, there is no poor person. The only truly poor person is someone who has nothing to exchange,
Yeah.
no value to exchange. That's the truly poor person. You are not poor. So if you look at yourself, you have something to exchange. And in the case she mentioned, it was her time for knowledge. You may not be able to pay a coach or pay somebody now, but you can follow the person, you can volunteer with the person's community so that you can learn from the person. I watched a TEDx talk on the Igbo system. I don't know whether you have seen it. Yemisi, the Igbo system
Yeah.
of business. They did a TEDx
Apprenticeship,
on it.
yeah.
Apprenticeship. You know, the person at that time is exchanging time and energy for knowledge. You see, nobody is truly poor. You have something you can exchange. And like she said, also, make up your mind what you will not do for money. You will not sell your body. You will not use your mommy. You will not use your siblings.
Yeah.
You won't go and start looking for people's private parts. You won't do all those things. You would work hard for money. All right, thank you very much. I think it's a
Thank
good
you.
time to release you, let you go, and end this
Thank you.
stream. Before we go tonight, everything has been cascading. Yesterday, one of the critical things I mentioned, and she mentioned it again today, was building your network. It's important to build your network. And someone said that your network will, in the long run, determine your net worth. The kind of people, and I shared um, someone's anger who who needed a million to raise a million in probably 6 or 1 week, 6 days or 1 week, and he was angry that he didn't have people he could call. He didn't have one person he could call for a million, or two people he could call for 500,000, or 10 guys that can quickly just send 100K. You see those things. He was really boiling, furious that he's going to delete all his contacts. They are useless and all that. Be intentional about your network. Now, network can be physical, network can also be online. And she mentioned, who are the people you follow online? Okay, you can learn so much from them. Thank you. everyone for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Madam Yemisi Isidi. So she has put on up her slides. Okay, how you can connect her. Let me just bring it back up. Okay, you can find her, like I said, on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can shoot her a mail so that, oh, I want to learn more. I want to join your community. Okay, and all that. So please do this. Move your personal finance forward. Finance is critical. It is critical and is important for your life. Don't play with it. Start your journey to financial freedom today. Start your journey to mega life. Tomorrow we'll be having Dr. Shogo, and the format tomorrow will be slightly different. It will be a chat. Okay, I'll be asking him questions. We'll be talking, and he will talk on so many things. We will touch on so many things tomorrow. So please do not miss it. Same time tomorrow, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock tomorrow. If we extend the most, we're done by 8:20 tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a fantastic night. Bye bye.